The original concept for Isolation came to me when I was in about a little before 7th grade. I remember watching The Shining, and there's a scene in there when the Torrance family is driving to the hotel for the first time. And they were talking about this one story of this cannibalistic incident that occurred, and I thought that'd be a very interesting concept because I've not seen a movie solely about cabin fever before. So that kind of got an idea into my head. I was also very much inspired by The Simpsons. It was in season 8 when Homer and Mr. Burns are trapped in a cabin by themselves. And they get cabin fever. And although it was done in a very goofy way, it was that really thought, well, there's some really interesting ideas. To take two men, put them in a cabin, snow it all around them, what happens? You got no food, you got no water, what the fuck are you going to do about it? So those two ideas really inspired me to do cabin fever, which is what we called Isolation at the time. But we changed the title for the fact that the Eli Roth movie and its sequel. So I called Javi, my good friend and co-screenplay writer, and he kind of told him all the idea, and he thought he liked it enough, so we made a little YouTube movie about it. The original movie that we did, there was no low budget, little 7th grade film, but the original concept was, we were college kids documenting the movements of birds, as I recall, and then we found this abandoned room, and we would talk to I got snowed in, avalanche came down, we ran to this house, got snowed in, and so forth. So then we would talk to the camera about a little bit about what was going on in the and how we were feeling and everything. And then in the meantime of that, we would cut to dreams of us like looking for food and other little monster things. And as I recall, in the ending of the film, we stabbed each other, something of that nature. So we uploaded that one, and nothing really happened to it. So I moved houses, and we decided to remake it and solely focus on just having the camera be a third person to us. So that was I liked that one more for the fact that it was more third dimensional. Bringing in the camera more and everything. I grew up a little bit. And that was in 8th grade, as I recall. We cut out the dream sequences and we cut out certain things, but the remake itself was very closely done to the original version of what we originally did for the first movie. In the ending, though, however, we decided that I would kill Javi with a hammer while he stabbed me. So the last shot you'd see would be me looking at the camera, and the camera died, battery power died. So we did that one, and that was really good. After that, we abandoned the concept and the story for quite some time. Worked on different ideas in school and personal lives and everything else of that nature came up. We had always had plans to remake it again, but we just never got around to doing it. Like I've said, school, personal reasons, whatnot. So remember, in 12th grade, I decided to write a screenplay of mine, werewolf idea that I'm quite proud of. And I called Javi and I said, I need your help writing this out. I wrote it like a book originally about this werewolf idea of mine. And Javi liked it enough to agree to help me write the screenplay for it. Well, what happened was I was very sick. I had the flu for about stomach flu and other viruses for a couple weeks. I was so sick, and I remember he'd come over a little bit and we'd try and write it, a couple pages. And what we found out was if we were to actually try and make a movie, this movie would cost way too much money for a first-time person trying to make an independent movie. So I remember I thought about that, and I was like, fuck, that's very true. You know, how are we supposed to make this werewolf movie with effect shots and everything else when we haven't even done a first film together? So I remember it was late at night. It was on a Monday, as I recall. It was really snowing out, cold, and so I called Javi and I said, listen, I said, the script is taking a lot longer than I thought to write, because you gotta take what you have from a book, what you wrote, and put that into a screenplay. And that's a very long process, because you need to figure out, what you want from the book, what scenes, what new scenes you want to add into the script. So I called Javi and I said, look, we're not going to be able to get the budget for it, and plus we need to actually really sit down and write the script first. He's like, yeah, you're right. And I said, so why don't we abandon this project for the time being and think of a different project? And he's like, well, what do you have in mind? And I was like, why don't we do Cabin Fever again? So we talked for about 2 hours about different ideas of what we could put into it. And I remember they got to a point where we freaked each other out because of the concepts that we were thinking about it. So that night really got the ball rolling for Cabin Fever, aka Isolation. And there you go.